from Tasman's Crochet Creations, and in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to crochet this cute little froggy keychain. So for the materials we'll be using this yarn. So this is normal Charity DK weight yarn, so as you can see here, Charity double knit, and it's 100% acrylic. It's a 100-gram ball, and it recommends a 4mm crochet hook, but for the purpose of this video I'll be using a 2mm crochet hook just to get those nice tight stitches. And the color of this green is called Tigerlime. It appears a lot darker on camera, but it's indeed very, very light. It's a very light green. And with that we'll be needing white as well. This is just for the little belly, or the belly patch is what I like to call it. So we'll need some white for the belly patch, and the green will be for the body and the legs and whatever else. And then for the mouth we are just going to embroider with black, and here I have some fine crochet cotton, or it's not cotton, it's like fine yarn. So this is crochet number 5 weight yarn. This is also 100% acrylic, but it's just super fine black yarn. You can use normal black yarn. You might just have to split the yarn to get a thinner strand, or you could use thread, like sewing thread maybe, or embroidery thread. So yeah, you'll also be needing that for the mouth. Okay, so that's the yarn out of the way, and with that, as I said, we'll also be needing a 2mm crochet hook just to get those tight stitches. We'll be needing a scissors and a tapestry needle. We'll also be needing some keychains. I just have a bag here of them. So you'll be needing one of them, and for the safety eyes, I have my little container here of safety eyes that I bought off Take-A-Lot. So I will be using 2 of these flat eyes. As you can see, they're literally just flat. Oops. They are just flat little eyes. I'm not sure what size these are. I think they could be like 8mm safety eyes, I think. I should probably get a ruler. Okay, so let me just see here. Yeah, so there are actually about, yeah, they are about 8mm safety eyes. Okay, so you'll be needing 2 of those, but in order to glue these on, we'll be needing a hot glue gun, which I have right here. So you'll be needing a hot glue gun to glue the eyes on. Okay, so that's it for the materials. You will also be needing some pillow stuffing to stuff the keychain. Okay, so that is it for the tutorial. Let's get started with crocheting the frog. And I forgot to mention, but we will also be needing some pliers, some jewelry pliers, and some household pliers just to open up the jump rings for the keychain. Okay, so to begin, we are going to be making the body of the frog. Okay, so again, I'll be using my 2mm crochet hook. So to begin, I am just going to take my yarn and wrap it around my finger once, twice, and then across to form an X like that. And then I'm going to insert my hook under those 2 loops, pick up the second loop, and do a chain 1 to secure that, and then I will take it off my fingers. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention that we'll also be needing a stitch marker. Because we'll be crocheting in the round for the frog. Okay, so back to crocheting the body. So after you have made your magic ring, we are going to place 8 single crochets into this magic ring. So single crochet is insert, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on your hook to do a single crochet. So that's 1. We need 7 more. So again, it is insert, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so I've done 8 single crochets into the magic ring. So let's just double count. Let's just make sure we have all of our stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so once you have your 8 single crochets, we are now going to close this magic ring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull on my tail, and then the one loop that's pulling in, which is this back one here, this back one, I'm going to pull on that back one until this other loop closes. And then to get rid of this loop, I'm going to pull on my tail end and pull that closed. Okay, so onto the next round. We're going to go straight into a single crochet and then an increase. Normally we would put an increase into each stitch around, but for the frog we are not going to do that. So into the first stitch, and you can work over your tail end by simply just putting the tail on over your hook like that. Okay, so we're going to place 1 single crochet into the first stitch like that, and then we can get our stitch marker, place our stitch marker in place. Okay, and then we'll do an increase in the next stitch, and an increase is simply just 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So it's insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. There's your first single crochet, and then your second one you'll go back into the same stitch you previously single crocheted into and do your increase in there. Okay, so for this next round your stitch count should have gone up from 8 to 12. So each round will be increasing by 4. Okay, so you've done an increase. In the next stitch we're going to place 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to place an increase, which is 2 single crochets. Again, in the next stitch we're going to place 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to place an increase. So that's 1 and 2. And then again we'll have 2 stitches left, so we'll put 1 single crochet in the next stitch and then an increase in the last stitch. Okay. So 1 single crochet and then an increase. Okay, like that. Now for the next round we can remove our stitch marker, and then we can place 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches. So that's 1. Put our stitch marker back. Okay, so that's 1 single crochet in the next 2. So that's 1, 2. And then we'll do an increase in the last stitch of the increase. So in that stitch there we'll put 2 single crochets in there for the increase. Your increases should always line up with each other. Okay, so you'll just repeat that all the way around, placing 1 single crochet in the next 2, 1 and 2, and then an increase. And your stitch count should have gone up from 12 to 16 by the end of this round. Okay, so I just did my increase. So now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2, so that's 1 and 2. and then an increase into the last stitch. Sorry, not the last stitch, into the next stitch. Okay, and then again we'll place 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. You should have 3 stitches left, by the way, so it's 1 single crochet in the next 2, and then into that last stitch we'll do our increase. Okay, so there is our increase. Okay, so now it's starting, it should start to look like almost like a square, almost. If that makes any sense. It kind of looks a bit like a square. Okay, so now for the next round, we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So that's 1. Put our stitch marker back. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then an increase into the next stitch. Okay, and then 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then an increase, and your stitch count should have gone up from 16 to 20 for this round. Okay, so again, place 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then an increase. Okay, last set of stitches, so it's 1 single crochet into the next 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then an increase into the last stitch. Okay, and then now for the next round, we are going to place 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, and then put the stitch marker back. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. Okay, and then you can just repeat this all the way around until you get back around to the beginning again, and I'll meet back up with you when you're ready to move on to the next round. And by the end of this round, your stitch count should have gone up from 20 to 24. So again, it's 1 single crochet in the next 4, and then an increase for this next round. Okay, so you can just repeat this until you get back around to the beginning again, and I'll meet back up with you when we are ready to move on to the next round. Okay, so now I'm back, and I have just finished the last round, and this is what my work should be looking like. So my stitch count should have gone up to 24 by the end of the last round. So for this round, we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an increase into the next stitch. And again, an increase is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Okay, so this is the last increase round of the frog. Okay, so you can just repeat this all the way around until you get back around to the beginning by placing 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches and then an increase. And your stitch count would have gone up from 24 to 28. Okay. So you can just repeat this until you get back around to the beginning, and then we can carry on crocheting the rest of the frog, or the body of the frog. Okay. Okay, so now I'm back after the last increase round, and my stitch count should be 28 stitches by the end of this round. Okay, so now for the next 7 rounds, or for the next 8 rounds, so for rounds 7 to 14, so we've done 6 rounds so far. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've done 6 rounds so far. So for rounds 7 to 14, we'll be placing 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So we will not be increasing, nor will we be decreasing. So we will just be keeping the same stitch count. Okay, so I've just single crocheted into the first stitch, and now I'm just going to put my stitch marker back in its place. And as I said, you'll just be placing 1 single crochet into each stitch around until you have finished round 14. Okay, so you'll do I think it's 8 rows of 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So it's from round 7 to 14. Okay, so I'll meet back up with you when we are finished with round 14 and we are ready to start decreasing and finishing off our frog. Okay, and again your stitch count should have remained the same, and you should have kept the same stitch count of 28 single crochets for the frog, for the body of the frog. Okay, so you can just repeat this, placing 1 single crochet in each stitch around until you have finished round 14. Okay. Okay, so now I have come back and I have completed all 14 rounds, and this is what it should be looking like now. So now we're going to start decreasing and start closing off the top, or well, the bottom of the frog. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove our stitch marker, and we are going to place 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. Okay, into the first 5 stitches, so it's 1, and then place the stitch marker back. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to decrease. We're going to decrease the next 2 stitches together. Now how we're going to do that is we are going to do the invisible decrease. So the invisible decrease is by inserting through the front loop of the next stitch and the front loop of the next stitch, like that. So that's how we'll be doing it. So if you look at a stitch, you have the top of the V of the stitch there. The top of the stitch is that like V. So this is the front loop. The loop closest to you is the front loop. The loop furthest away from you is the back loop. And we'll be working in through the front loop of the next stitch and the front loop of the following stitch, like that, to do our invisible decrease. Okay, so I'll just show you. So you're going to insert your hook under the first loop of the next stitch and insert your hook under the next loop, the next front loop of the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull that through, and then you'll yarn over and do your single crochet as normal, like that. Alright, and I know it might be a little bit late to mention this, but in order to get the much more tighter look of the stitches, I yarn under instead of over. So I yarn under, so you see the yarn is going under my hook, like that. So I yarn under. Okay, or you can also yarn over, like that, like an actual yarn over, where the yarn is over the front of the hook. But I find that that creates a much more like looser look of the stitch. So I yarn under to give it a much more tighter look of the stitch. Okay, so I've just done my decrease. So again, we'll place 1 single crochet in the next 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we'll do a decrease. So again, it's over the next 2 front loops of the next 2 stitches. Okay, so again, it's in through that front loop, the front loop of the next stitch, and then through the front loop of the next stitch, like that. And then yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops to finish off that single crochet. There it is. You can barely even notice it. The only way to like tell the difference between a normal single crochet and a decrease is that it has like a little, like, I envision it that the single crochet is like in a little V stitch. Like, let's go back to the first one we did. So like there, this is the decrease here, and that's just the normal single crochet. So the decrease has like a little, like it's in like a little V. Okay, so you can just repeat that all the way around, placing 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches and then a decrease, and your stitch count should have gone down from 28 to 24. Okay, so I've done 3, 4, and 5, and then a decrease. So it's yarn under, well yarn, sorry, it's insert your hook under the next 2 front loops of the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so since I'm like right at the end, I'm not going to pause the video. So you'll just repeat that all the way around, placing 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then a decrease. And you should end on a decrease, just how you always ended on an increase before, but we'll be ending on a decrease. Okay, so again, insert your hook under the front loops of the last 2 stitches and then finish off your single crochet. Okay, there we go. That's what it should be looking like now. Okay, so now we are going to remove our stitch marker and place 1 single crochet in the first 4 stitches. And our stitch count should have gone back down from 24 to 20. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a decrease. So again, it's insert through the front loops of the next 2 stitches and finish off your single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a decrease. Yeah, so you can just repeat that all the way around until you get back around to the beginning again, and your stitch count should have gone up from, gone down from from 24 to 20. Okay. Okay, so again, by the end of that round, your stitch count should have gone back down to 20, and this is what it should be looking like now. So we're going to do one more decrease round before we stuff our frog. So we're going to place 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease. Okay, and then that's 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. And your stitch count should have gone down from 20 to 16. Okay, so you can just repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you when we're ready to stuff our frog. Okay. Okay, so now that we have completed that round, it should be looking something like this. But now we are going to stuff our little frog. So we're just going to pull up a loop and get some pillow stuffing. I've just got like a whole lot here, you don't need this much. So yeah, you just want to grab some pillow stuffing, and it's very helpful if you have a pair of blunt scissors to help just push the stuffing into the body of the frog. Okay, so I'm just going to lay my stuffing over it, and then just take my scissors and just push the stuffing into the frog. Okay, so now I have just finished stuffing the body of the frog, and this is what it should be looking like now. Okay, so now we're just going to close up the bottom. So we're just going to do 2 more decrease rounds. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove our stitch marker, and you just want to push the stuffing down with your finger while you crochet the remaining stitches. So now we're just going to place 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and then you'll do a decrease. Again, it's in through the 2 front loops of the next 2 stitches, and you just repeat that all the way around, and your stitch count should have gone down from 16 down to 12. Okay, again, you just want to try and push the stuffing down with your finger while you crochet this closed. Okay, so I've just done 2 single crochets and a decrease. Okay, I'm nearly at the end here. 2 single crochets and a decrease, and you should be left with 4 single crochets left, which we do have 4 single crochets. So it's 1 single crochet in the next 2, so that's 1 and 2, and then a decrease. Okay, 1 more decrease round, so we can remove the stitch marker, and then we can just place 1 single crochet to the next stitch, put your stitch marker back, oops, there you go, put your stitch marker back, and then do a decrease over the next 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet, and then a decrease, and you just repeat this all the way around, and your stitch count should have gone down from 12 back down to 8. Okay, so it's 1 single crochet, and then a decrease. This part is a little bit fiddly, and then you should have 3 single crochets left, in which you will place 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then a decrease over the next 2 front loops, or the next 2 stitches. Again, trying not to catch any of the stuffing. Oopsie, okay, let's do that again. Through the front loops like that, yarn over, pull through, and do your single crochet. Okay, so that's what it's looking like, and then we can just slip stitch to the beginning to join. So a slip stitch is just insert, again trying not to catch any of the stuffing. So it's insert, it's yarn over, pull through, and then pull this first loop through the second loop on your hook. So just pull it through like that to do your slip stitch. Okay, then you can grab your scissors and then snip the yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail. So just a little bit of a tail just to sew the end closed, and then you can just take your hook and pull that out, and then we can take our darning needle and sew it closed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to insert through the front loops of all of the stitches around. So it's just through the front loop, the loop that is closest to you, into the front loop of the next stitch, pull it through, insert through the front loop of the next stitch, and just keep repeating this all the way around, and basically it'll be like a big 8 single crochet together. Okay. Okay, and then once you have sewn all the way around, you can just pull your tail tight and we'll cinch it in nice and tight. And then what I like to do is just poke my needle back in through the bottom and come out somewhere on the body. Yeah, like that. So that's what it looks like. Okay. So you can just insert your needle through the same stitch that you came out of, and then poke your needle out through somewhere else on the body. Okay. And again, insert into the stitch that you came out of. And then out through another stitch. Insert into the body through the stitch that you came out of, and then poke your needle out somewhere else. And repeat that all the way around. Not all the way around, just repeat that all over the body. Okay, so when you're happy, you can snip your tail end, so you can pull that out and then snip your tail end. Okay, so that is the body so far. There you go. Okay, so now all that we need to do now is we just need to crochet the legs, and then we'll crochet like the eyes and then the belly patch, and then join everything together. Okay, so let's get started on the legs. So we'll do 4 legs. Okay, so again we'll do it, everything will be using the magic ring. Okay, so I'm going to wrap my yarn around my finger once, twice, and then cross over my finger like that. Get your hook, yarn over, pull that through, do a chain 1 to secure, and then pull that off with your fingers. Okay, and then for the legs, we're going to place 4 single crochets into the magic ring, so only 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then again we'd want to just close this magic ring, so I just pulled on the one tail, or on my tail end, and then this back loop pulled in, so I'm going to pull it out, and then the other one will cinch closed, and then just pull my tail end and close that. Okay, and this is going to be a bit tricky, but just try and insert your hook into the first stitch, and then we'll place 2 single crochets into this first stitch. Okay, like that. It can be a bit tricky. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so that's 2. So essentially we will have 8 single crochets by the end of this round. You can, if you want to, use a stitch marker, but I found that it is a little bit unnecessary. Okay. Okay. So you should have 8 stitches by the end of that round, and it should look something like this. So now for the next round, we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So again, no increases and no decreases, and you'd want to push out your work so that the right side is towards us and the wrong side is away from us. Okay, so it should look something like this. There's the right side, there is the wrong side. Okay, so I'm just gonna single crochet all the way around, and you should have kept the same stitch count as 8. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so it should look something like that now once you've poked your work out. So you'll just want to slip stitch to the beginning. So again, a slip stitch is insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull this loop through this loop. Like that. Okay. And then you can take your scissors, leave a bit of a tail to sew the legs on. Snip that off and then just pull that through. Okay, so you'll just want to make 3 more of these, and once you finish crocheting it, leave it as it is with the tail and everything. Don't cut this tail off. I'll show you what to do with it afterwards. But once you have finished crocheting all 4 of your little legs, you can come back and I'll show you how to sew them onto the body. Okay, so now I have come back and I've finished crocheting all 4 of the little legs. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take this tail end and we're just going to pull on the tail end, and what's going to happen is it's going to pull all of these stitches in. Okay, like that, so that it looks like that. Okay, so you just want to repeat that to all 4 of the legs. Okay, so you can use the other legs to like compare. Okay, yeah, so those 2 look fine. And then I'm just going to pull on this one a little bit. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, that's fine. And then with this one, just pull a bit. Okay, those are fine. So now since we have pulled on our tails and we're happy with the legs, then we can snip those little tail ends off as we don't need them. Okay, so that's 2 done, 3 done, and 4. Okay, so you just gotta cut off the tail end of the little legs. Okay, so there we go. So let's just put these aside for now. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to grab our body. Okay, so we're going to grab our body and then one of our legs and our darning needle. Oops. Okay, so you're going to take your darning needle and your leg, and then what you want to do is you want to count down from the top. You want to count down 15. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. So between row 15 and 14 is where we're going to place our legs. So I'm just going to, I kind of want my legs off to the side, so kind of like close to here, but not directly in the center of the side, but a little bit off. So I'm just going to take my sewing needle and just poke it through a stitch on the body, and then I'm going to go in through this stitch on the leg there. So I'm going to go in through that stitch over there, and then in through the next stitch on the leg. Okay, and then you just want to sew down from here, from where you previously sewed into, so there. You want to sew there to the next stitch down. Okay, and then again sew into the leg, and then go over to the next stitch. Okay, so again you want to sew over the 2 rounds, so we can go down again from row 15 to row 14 like that, and then again sew back into the legs, so like that, and then go sew over into the next stitch. Okay, and then from here you'll just go over 1 stitch like that, and then again go back into the leg, and then go into the next stitch of the leg like that, and then sew back into the body, but go into the next stitch and come out, poke your needle through the next stitch. Sorry, my yarn just got stuck on my little leggy. Okay, again go back in through the leg, and then go into the next stitch of the leg, and then okay, so I'm gonna go in through the stitch that I came out of the leg of the body and come out 1 stitch below on the body. Okay, and again sew into the leg and then into the next stitch of the leg, and then just sew this stitch down to this stitch like that, and there we go. That is our one little leg done. And then to hide our tail end, we can just sew back into the stitch that we came out of, poke your needle out elsewhere on the body, and then again insert your needle back into the stitch that you came out of, out another stitch on the body, insert into the same stitch that you came out of, and out somewhere else in the body. And you just repeat this until you are happy with the amount of times that you sewed your leg in, or sewed the tail end of your leg in. Okay, so I'm happy with that amount, so I'm just gonna snip my tail end and get rid of that. Okay, so that is what his little leggy looks like that. Okay, so now we're going to sew on his other bottom leg. So again, you'd want to sew the bottom leg between row 14 and row 15. So again, you can count down from the top, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So yeah, I'm going to place the leg about here, I think. So I'm just going to insert my needle to 1 stitch. Sorry, I'm off the camera a bit. Insert my needle through 1 stitch and come out the other stitch. Okay, like that. And then again, go into the stitch of the leg and into the next stitch of the leg, like that. And then go down into, go poke your needle from the stitch that you came into from the leg and out from the stitch below that. Then again, just go back into the leg and then sew into the next stitch of the leg like that. Okay, and then we can sew one more time up to the next stitch like that, and then go back into the leg and go into the next stitch on the leg like that, and then sew across from the stitch that you came out of, into the next stitch there. Okay, let's not get our little leggy caught. Okay, so again, go back into the leg and then go into the next stitch on the leg like that. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so now we're going to go back into the body. So come out where it came from. Whoopsie, my tail end's in my way. Go in the same stitch that it came out of and come out the next stitch. Okay, and then into the body, sorry, into the leg, the stitches of the leg, and then into the body and out the other side. Okay, so that is our second little leg done. That is what it should be looking like now. So we got our two little bottom feet, and again we can just hide our tail end through the same way that we've done before, which is going in the same stitch we came out of and go out somewhere else in the body. Insert your needle in through the same stitch that you came out of and out through another stitch on the body, and you just repeat this a few times until you are happy with it. Okay. Okay, like that. Yeah, so that's what you should be looking like now. Now we can take our scissors and cut the tail end. Okay, so now you can grab your next leg. Okay, so you just want to grab your next leg, and now to sew the upper feet on, we're going to repeat the same process, but we're going to sew this leg down between row 10 and 11. So count from the top. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, and we're going to sew like above the foot below. So you're going to want to make sure that your feet are in line. Okay, so you're going to sew between row 10 and 11. Okay, so I'm just going to go over one more stitch from where I was. Go over one more, whoopsie. Trying not to catch any of the stuffing inside. Okay, there we go. And then again go back into the leg. Like that. And then I'm going to sew down from where I was down to the next row below, and then again into the leg, and then into the next stitch of the leg, and then go down one more row like that, and then again go back up into the leg and then into the next stitch of the leg, and then go back into the stitch that you came out of and poke your needle into the next stitch of the body, and then just repeat that to sew the remaining leg on. Okay, so I'm just going to Okay, so I'm just going to sew down from there to this next stitch below that. Okay. Okay, like that. So I'm just gonna, sew my tail end in like the same way that we have been doing for the other legs. So I'm just gonna sew it in real quickly. Okay. I'm just going to do one more time and then I think I'm happy with that. Okay, so now for the last one. Okay, so this is what he should be looking like now. Okay. Okay, so now we can just sew on his last little leg and then we can crochet the arms after that. And then sew those onto the head. And then we can do the belly patch and then embroider the little mouth on. Okay, so again we're going to go down 11 rows, 11 rounds. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Okay, so go into the stitch and out the other side, and again you'd want it to be in line with the foot below that. And then again go into the foot, go into the foot and into the next stitch of the foot. Okay, and then go down, and then sew into the leg and into the next stitch. And then sew down one more stitch, come up to the next row above, and then again sew the leg on, or sew into the leg and then go into the next stitch that you came out of and into the next stitch, and then again sew into the leg. So into the leg and then go into the next stitch that you came out of and into the next stitch and then into the leg again, and then sew from the stitch that you came out of on the body and out onto the next row, and again sew back into the leg. And then just join where you came out of to the first place that you went into when you sewed the leg on, like that. Yeah, and then there's the little fourth leg sewn on, and then you can just hide your tail end like how we've always done. Okay, so this is what his little body should be looking like now, and we can just cut our yarn, cut the little tail end. Okay, so this is what his little leggy should be looking like now. Okay, so now we just have to crochet the R's, we'll sew the R's on, and then we'll crochet the belly patch, sew that on, and then just do the little mouth. Okay, so let's crochet the little eyes. Okay, so for the R's, obviously we'll be needing to make 2 of them. So again, you'll just take your crochet hook and your yarn, and you would wrap it around your finger twice and across to form an X, and then insert under those 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through, and then do a chain 1 to secure that, and then take the magic ring off your fingers. And then we're going to place 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll pull in our tail end, so pull in our tail end, and then the one that like pulls in, so this inner one here, we'll take that and pull on it. There we go. And then that other little circle would have closed up, and then to close this circle here, you take your tail end and pull on it. And then you'll place 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So stitch count would have gone up from 6 up to 12. Okay, so you'll just repeat that, placing 2 single crochets into each stitch around until you get back round to the beginning. And your stitch count should have gone up from 6 up to 12. Oops, I just did 3 in there by mistake. Okay, so I think I've done 12. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so for the third round, we'll just place 1 single crochet into each stitch around. And again, you just want to work over your tail end so you can pull in the R's a bit, so the safety R's, or the flat safety R's, can like, so I don't know, so like the green R part can cinch around the black safety R's. Okay, so you just want to place 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, and you just want to push your R out this way so that the right side is facing you and the wrong side is facing out. So you just want to push it like that. Okay, so I'm nearly done here. So you would have kept the same stitch count as 12. Okay, so now I'm back at the beginning. So you just want to slip stitch to the beginning. So insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook to do your slip stitch. Okay, and then you can take your scissors, leave quite a bit of a tail for sewing. Okay, so maybe about that much, and then yarn over and pull that through. Okay, again, we're going to leave this like this with that tail because we're going to cinch it in a bit later when we have both ours done. So you can go back and repeat the same steps for the second R. Okay, and then come back and show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so now I've come back and I have finished crocheting the R's. So what we're going to want to do is again just turn the R's so that the right side is pushed out. And then with this tail end, you just want to pull on it so that the R kind of cinches up a bit like that. So there's the comparison. So we just need to pull the other one now. Kind of like that. So maybe have this one a little bit more. I'm happy with that. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and just snip off the tail ends. Okay, now our R's are ready to sew onto the body. So now I'm just going to thread my needle, and then we are going to sew the R's on. So let's get my body back. Okay, so we are going to sew the R's on between rounds 5 and 7. So if we count down, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So between the next 3 rounds. So I'm just going to go in from round 6, come out round 7, and you want it to sit like in line with the arms. Okay, and then you just want to go back up into the R and then out the other R, and then you'd want to just catch where you came out of previously, and then come out on round 7 of the body, and then go back into the R like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to sew under a few stitches of the R. Okay, so just so we can get to the other side of the R. Okay, and then we're going to insert our needle into the R and into round 7, sorry, in through round 6 and come out round 5, so that it looks something like that. Okay, so that's what it should be looking like now. And what I like to do is I like to just go to like the back of the R and just come out like maybe like a 2 or 3, like maybe a stitch or 2. It's more or less a stitch or 2 away from the R, and then just go back into the R just to tack it, and then go back down where you came from, and then come out somewhere else on the body. Okay, so there we go. That just sews the R in place like that. Okay, and if you're happy with that, then you can sew in your tail end. Oops. So again, you just want to sew in and out of the body a handful of times, just so that you can secure the ear and the R's and the tail end onto the body. Okay, so now you will just repeat that for the other R, sewing in the same exact way. Okay, oops, I just accidentally squeezed my frog out of my hands. Okay, so again we're just going to take the other one, the other R, then we're going to come out from round 5 to 7, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to come in at 6, so come out there, and again you want it to be in line with the arm. Okay, like that, and then just go back in to the R, and then go out the next stitch, and then come out from round 6 and poke your needle out round 7 like that, and then sew back up into the R, and then again just sew under a few of those stitches just to get to the other side like that, and then just go into the next stitch and then go in from round 6 to round 5, like that. Then I'm just going to go back into there just because, like, yeah, I don't feel like it's tucked in enough. And then I'm just going to come out somewhere else in the body. And then I'm just going to go back and tuck my arms in. So I'm just going to come out like about here. And then just go through a stitch on the R and then go back down into the body and then just sew in your tail end. Yeah, so that's what he should be looking like now. Something like that. Okay. So you can just finish sewing in your tail end. Okay. And you just want to snip your tail end, and there you go. That is what it should be looking like now. Okay, so there's our little like froggy. Okay, so as you can see, the right side of the eyes is facing out and the wrong side is like the inside of the eye, which is where we'll be placing the safety eyes in there. Okay, so now we just need to crochet the belly patch. Okay, so let's crochet the belly patch. Okay, so to make the belly patch, we're going to take our white and our hook again, and we are going to form a magic ring. So again, it is yarn over twice, so it's 1, 2, sorry, it's 1, 2, and then cross over like that. Well, like that. Okay, and then you'll go under the first 2 loops and yarn over and pull through the, okay, and then you will chain 1 to secure, and then we will place 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So again, it's insert, yarn over, pull through, insert, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, pull on your tail end, and whichever one closes in, you take that one and you pull it out, and then the other hole should cinch closed. And then to get rid of this one, you just take your tail end and pull on that. There you go. Okay. And then you'll place an increase into each stitch around. So you'll insert into the first stitch, put 2 single crochets in there. Okay, and then you'll put your stitch marker into the first one. Oops. Okay, so it should look something like that. Oopsie. So you would continue to place 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So your stitch count should have gone from 6 up to 12 for this round. Okay. So now for the next round, we are going to place 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then put our stitch marker back, and then we'll do an increase into the next stitch. Okay, and then you'll put an increase into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then an increase into the following stitch. And you just repeat that around, putting 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then an increase, 1 single crochet, and then an increase, all the way around until you get back around to the beginning, and your stitch count should have gone up from 12 to 18. Okay. Okay, so there you go. Again, your stitch count should have gone up from 12 to 18. Okay, now for the last round, we are going to place 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches, or the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then an increase into the following. So you just repeat that around, placing 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then an increase, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2. So that's 1, 2, and then an increase. And your stitch count should have gone up from 18 to 24. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and then an increase, and then 1, 2, and then an increase. Okay, now we're doing the last set. So again, it's 1, 2 single crochet, and then an increase in the last stitch. And that's it for the belly patch. It's literally just 4 rounds of increases. So that is what it looks like. Okay, and then to end off, we're just going to slip stitch to the beginning. So we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through that loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. Okay, and then you just want to take your scissors, leave a bit of a tail, snip that off, and pull it up. Okay, so there's our little belly patch done. And then to sew it on, you can just get your darning needle and your tapestry needle and sew on, and then sew on or thread through your yarn. And then you just want to grab your frog, and then just position this like in the middle of the frog. And then what I like to do is just go through the first stitch again like that, and then up through the stitch that I went through. Okay, so I just like to hold it there in that position while I sew this on. So I'm gonna insert my needle into the body, And then I'm going to insert my needle into the next stitch of the belly patch, or through the patch, pull that up, and then again I'm going to go straight into the next stitch of the body, and then through the stitch of the belly patch, pull that through. Okay, and then you just want to keep like holding it in place and ensuring that like you are sewing the patch into the right stitches, if that makes any sense. So I'm going back in through the body and then through the patch. Okay, like that. And then I'm just gonna hop over to this side. Okay. And then again go back in through the stitch it came out of, and then in through the body, and then into the next stitch on the patch, and then go in through the next stitch on the body, and then in through the belly patch like that, and then into the same stitch on the body, and then come out. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Okay, and then I'm going to insert into the belly patch. Okay, so now it's starting to look like that. And then again, you'll just want to sew down into the body, making sure that you are kind of following like where the belly patch is sitting on the stitches on the body. And yeah, you just want to just sew the body, or sew the patch to the body by going in and out of the body, and then in and out of the belly patch. Yeah, so again I'm going in to the body, and then coming out and in the next stitch of the body, and then in through the belly patch. Okay, and then I'm going to come up or come down the next stitch like that, and then into the belly patch, and then I'm going to go in back where I came from and come out in the next stitch of the belly patch, go into the belly patch, and then sew down into the body in the same stitch that I came out of, and sew out the other side of the stitch, and then sew into the belly patch, and then sew into the stitch that you came out of and into the next stitch of the belly patch, and then sew into the belly patch, sew into the next stitch of the body, and come out on the other side of the body, and then insert into the belly patch. Yeah, so you just want to keep repeating this all the way around until you have fully sewn in your belly patch. So now this is what it should be looking like now. So now you can just harden your tail end. Okay, so now once once the belly patch is sewn on, you just want to hide your tail end. So just insert into the stitch of the body and come out somewhere else on the body. Whoops. Okay, insert into the stitch that you came out of and come out of somewhere else in the body. Insert into the stitch that you came out of and come out somewhere else in the body. Again, go into the stitch that you came out of and come out somewhere else on the body. Okay. Again, just go into the stitch that you came out of and come out somewhere else on the body. Okay. And then you just want to take your scissors and cut close to the body. Okay, so there's the belly patch on. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little mouth and then we will add the eyes. So what you'd want to do is just grab some of your black thread. You'd want quite a little decent amounts because you also want to be able to sew in your tail ends or hide your tail ends. Okay, so I'm just going to thread my needle and then I'm just going to go out, come in somewhere in the body and come out somewhere else and leave a little bit of a tail. And I'm just going to hold onto that tail so it doesn't go anywhere. And yeah, so I'm just going to thread my needle in and out of some places. Okay, and then I'm going to come in like where the center of the belly patch is. So now we're just going to sew in the mouth. So I'm going to come out about 2 or 3 stitches diagonal from where I am and come through where I was, and then do the same on this side. Okay, so like that. Okay, so of course you can make the smile as big as you want, but I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to sew my tail end in. Isn't it just cute? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna sew my tail end in and out of the body, like what we have been doing. Okay, and then I'm just gonna sew this in one more time. Okay, so then you would just want to take your scissors and just cut close to the body. Again, take your scissors and cut close to the body. Okay, so there is our little froggy so far. Now the only thing we have to do is just get our eyes and hot glue the eyes on. Okay, so now I have my eyes here ready. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to turn out our crochet eyes. Okay, so you just want to turn out the eyes just so that it makes it a bit easier. And then you just want to grab your hot glue gun and just take one of these pieces here and then just dab a little bit of glue on there. Okay. Okay, so just put on a dab of glue, and then you just kind of want to find the magic ring of the eye, and then just press the eye on and turn the eye out. Okay, so there's one little eye in there, so now we just need to do the other eye. Okay, so again, just grab the eye and the hot glue gun, and then just put a little dab of glue on the eye. Okay, like that. Just a little dab of glue, and then again you just want to find kind of like the magic ring of the eye, and then just glue the eye on. Okay, stick it there, and then you can turn your eye inside out like that. And there is our little froggy eyes. Isn't he just cute? So now the last thing that we need to do is just put the... Okay, so now the last thing that we need to do is just put our little keychain on. So what you'd want to do is just grab a keychain. Okay, so just grab one of those. And you'll also be needing your jewelry pliers, and even some household pliers is fine. So what you'd want to do is just grab this loop or this jump ring, and you would just want to pull it apart. I found that this works best with 2 pliers because it's easier. So you just want to open up the jump ring. Okay, so there we go. I've just opened up the jump ring there now. So then you just want to grab your frog, and then I like to just poke the keychain in between round 1 and round 2 of the frog. Just wiggle it through. Oops. Okay, well the rest of the keychain fell off, but that's fine. Okay, so there we go. Now that that is through, looks like he's got like a little nose ring. Okay, so now once the jump ring is in, you will then take the rest of the chains and place them in the jump ring, and then with your pliers just close the jump ring. And there we go. There is your little keychain, your keychain froggy. There we go. So there is the little froggy. Isn't he just cute? Okay, so that's it for today's tutorial, guys. And if you liked this tutorial, and if you managed to follow along to the tutorial, and yeah, if you enjoyed crocheting this little frog as much as I did, then please hit the like button below, and drop me a comment as well. I'd love to know what you guys have been crocheting, or what have you guys been up to. And yeah, so this is it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and enjoy the rest of your crocheting.